feeling cold against your skin. Running through the chaos, letting all the sin. Temptation in a bottle, ready for the night. Craving for the thrill, it's time to ignite. Dark desires burning bright. Echoes in the dead of night. No retreat, no looking back on this heart attack.
Ladies and gentlemen, how are you? Great to be back Saturday night. This might be our first consecutive show in a while. I don't think we've done 2 shows in a row in a week or 2. So it's good to be back on a Saturday night. How are you? Good to have you. What have I been doing? Planning. Tomorrow's a very busy day. It's severely busy. We're going to probably be at the courthouse all day tomorrow. So it's been a couple of months since I've been at the courthouse all day for not just like a 15-minute hearing. It's been since July? Since early July. It's probably since late June. Late June is probably the last time we had an all-day hearing. So we're got to get back into that routine of getting up early and getting out to the courthouse tomorrow. But first, I can hang out with you guys tonight. That'll be fun, including telling you about this guy right here. This guy, this depraved individual, a man in California, not a man in Florida. Why is it not a man in Florida? I feel like that's what it should be. Although that might be some sort of, stereotype. But it's hard. It's like a stereotype, but the facts of true crime tell us it happens all the time. But this time, it's in California. So I'm going to talk to you about that in a minute. Hey, SP Mama, how are you? Oh, you're cleaning? Hey, Danny, good to see you. Lynn D. Mimi is here. Rachel is here. Hey, Joe, what's up, brother? How are you, man? Good to see you. Florida, California, same as they say in Thailand. Could be. Lisa, good to have you. Rachel, who else? Carolina is here. Marilyn Landis. Moonlight View is here. Hey, good to see you. Joe Neal, Permaculture. It's good to see you. I feel like everyone has forgotten to come here at midnight. I guess it is 1 a.m. We will move back to a better time soon. I think when all this trial thing wraps up for good, we'll probably move to a slightly earlier time frame. The reason we've been on at 1, is it 1? I think it's like 1 a.m. for the East Coast right now. The reason we've been on at this time, at 1 is to give Web Sleuths enough breathing room, because they used to only do like an hour and a half, but lately they've been doing 2 hours, 2.5 hours. So we can't go on at 2:00 my time anymore, which is 11. So we've sort of had to move back a little bit more because they've been running longer. Laurie said, I checked to see if you're going to be on. I am. Good to see you, my friend. So there's your explanation of why we've been on quite late. Yeah, so there'll be a court hearing on Tuesday. It's only an initial hearing for the ROs, whatever you want to call them. That'll be an initial hearing. I expect that to be very short. It'll be a very short hearing, probably like 20 minutes. It won't be very long. A lot of the things that happen in that hearing will already be pre-decided, and yeah, it'll be like you'll be remanded, or there's bail, or blah blah, and then it's done. We won't hear about them for a couple of months, and then they'll probably have another hearing, probably a status hearing, probably sometime in October or November. So we'll see. We'll see if they get bail. I hope they don't. I feel like that is sending the wrong message to the community to give these two some sort of bail. I don't know who would take a bail for a couple accused of murdering a child, but let's hope they get remanded into custody until their next court appearance in later in 2025. Carolina said, I did get notifications, but I don't always. This one was booked early. Everyone should have got a notification. Everyone. All right, I want to talk to you about this guy. Who is this guy? He is a very, very bad person, and I'm going to explain to you why. So here's Guillermo. I'm probably pronouncing that very wrong. He is accused by the Highland Police of luring an 11-year-old girl. So this 11-year-old girl was searching for her dog. He, being an opportunist, saw this little girl looking for her lost dog and lured her into an old ambulance. So it wasn't an active one that works for emergency services. It was one that he had bought, that they don't use anymore, and lured her into this vehicle and SA'd her for a period of time while driving around the area. And then when he was done, he just booted her out of the car at gunpoint. So he had her at gunpoint in the car and was SAing her. So it is very horrible. Like, what's wrong with people? What's wrong with people where so he's 57 years old. His name is Guillermo Cascante. I'm probably pronouncing it wrong. My Spanish is terrible. According to a press release, let's see if we get a good work. Racism. You know what? We should talk about racism against Australians again. Let me see if I can find another press release for it. But yeah, it says here, authorities said he pretended to work for animal control, convinced the girl that he would help find the dog if she got into the old ambulance he was driving. He then allegedly pointed a handgun at her when she got into the vehicle. Investigators said he drove around and SA'd her until dumping her on the side of the road. They say deputies found the old ambulance and arrested him on Wednesday. He was booked for kidnapping and 2 counts of SA. So it's really shocking. You have to be brazen to take an 11-year-old girl off the side of the road that's trying to look for her dog. It's like something you would see in Law and Order. It is like, Law and Order SVU. That's what it is. How did he not know he would be found? There's probably like very few people driving around in an old ambulance. It was probably registered to him. So he's not very clever at all. Let me see. 57-year-old Guillermo. Let's see if we can find anything else about him. Here, WWNY. There's a couple of news stations running it. Both of them not local. How strange. I'm just trying to see if we've got a better source for you. Here we go. Let's head to CBS. If it'll play.
Acted Mike Rogers. Police say that suspect was driving an ambulance?
Yeah, an old ambulance, but still very real looking, especially to the 11-year-old girl who apparently was looking for her lost dog when the man pulled up, and according to authorities, claimed to be with animal control. You'll see pictures of the ambulance, and you can understand why an 11-year-old would certainly believe that story. This man, after getting her inside of the van, allegedly pulled a gun, sexually assaulted her as he drove her around the city of Highland. This all happening in the area of San Francisco Street and 14th Street in Highland. This happened a couple of days ago. Ultimately, the girl was able to break free, run home, and tell her parents what happened. They called 911. The Sheriff's Department was able to make an arrest. I want to show you the guy's photo because tonight they believe there are more victims of this suspect. This is the 57-year-old Guillermo Casacante. He has been taken into custody for kidnapping as well as the sexual assault charges alleged to have been done to the 11-year-old girl. And again, that very distinctive ambulance. And here is his photo. Tonight, the detectives believe there are more victims of this person. So they want you to give the San Bernardino Sheriff's Office a call if you know anything about an alleged crime or anything about this man. Guys?
Okay, Mike, thank you.
It worries me that they're like, there could be more victims. That is worrying. How many other little girls did he lure into that ambulance to try and hurt. That is concerning. Joe Neal said, I would totes hop in there without a second thought. I'm sure you would, tough guy. Jonna said, thank God they caught him. Yeah, I agree. I'm just trying to see if there's any other news on this guy. Let's go to KWTX. They have it as well. There you go here. Oh, they have the same thing we just read. Yeah, man in California was arrested after he allegedly kidnapped and SA'd a girl inside an old ambulance. But I think that other video was the best look at it. Yeah, I want to go back and look at that ambulance. Yeah, let's go here. I mean, it looks pretty official looking. I mean, to a child, like they said, they would be they don't know any different. I mean, an animal control vehicle, they look all sorts of ways, right? You know, to a child, they just see the lights and the, you know, sort of van looking thing. It looks pretty official enough for a young person to be like, oh, they must be someone here to help. That is depraved offending to, you know, this is probably what they would call opportunistic crime, I think, at least, because he probably just came. It's not like he could plan that there was a little girl looking for a lost animal. So he probably saw the girl, made up a story. He has the van and just went with it. Opportunistic crime. That's why he used possibly. He is a rock spider. He is a rock spider, and that's what he'll get called in jail. If he goes to jail, they will call him a rock spider. Although that's an Australian slang, not. I don't think they use that in America. That's an Australian slang for PDF file. So if you don't know what that is, you've never heard it before. In Australian jails, if you are called a rock spider, that means basically that you offend against children. Oh, you mother effer. Hold on. Sorry about that. I had to get some supplies for court tomorrow because I checked my backpack and I was like, oh, I must have run out of everything before we finished at court last time. So had to order some stuff from Amazon to get here for tomorrow. Joe Neal said, clearly that's not an animal control vehicle though. How would a child know? Do we do education classes in, you know, vehicle identification for children? Oh my God, a cat. Hey, there's a cat here. Hey, what are you doing, buddy? So yeah, I don't blame the child here. I blame the offender. Hey, Mr. Cat, what are you doing? Yeah, I don't know why here he is. There you go. There's your cat look for tonight. I don't know what he's doing up here. Hey, where are you going? You can't sleep on Dad's lap. He wants every time I'm on this microphone in this live show, he wants to come up here. When I'm not on the show, he never comes up here. What are you doing? Just sitting here. All right, you guys can there you go. No, don't lick my hands. He's like licking my hands and I have to use it. His head is right here and my mouse that I use to control everything is right next to it. And every time I go to touch the mouse, he licks my hand. It's like, come on, buddy, I got work to do. Don't lick. Hey, Dad's got work to do. Hey, no. All right, come on. You got to get down. Come on. All right. Come on, Muff. All right, that's better. Now we can control the show. I had to put him on the ground. He'll just go sleep over there on his bed. He's a cat and it's a mouse. That's right. He's like, Dad, don't touch it. I'll attack it for you. He's your leader. There you go. Moira is sleeping and she's a border collie. Muffin makes his cameo. That's right. Every time, like clockwork. He does it every time I'm on the show. All right. So Highland Police Department. Let's have a look. I want to see if they. Oh my God, he's back. What are you doing? Yeah, you're not going to stop until I let you sleep on my lap, are you? All right, fine. You crazy animal. But don't bite my hands. All right, let's see if we can find the Highland Police Department. All right, they do have a Facebook page. Yesterday they did a night shift thing. Yeah, okay. So I'm gonna have to start my VPN apparently because apparently it won't let me go in here. Let's see if we can get into the page that they're racist against Australians about. Muff, what's wrong? All right, let's see if this works. There we go. There we go. Bit of a trick that Ping does. There we go. No more blocked access. Suspect in van kidnaps girl looking for lost pet in Highland. Man arrested, held without bail. Okay, he's held without bail. The incident is PC 207A kidnapping, PC 288A lewd and lascivious acts with a child under 14, and then PC 288B1 lewd and lascivious acts on a child with force and fear. That would be the gun, I would say. That would be the escalator charge for the weapon. And then it's where was the location? San Francisco Street and 14th Street in Highland, CA. And they say on Tuesday, August 19, 2025 at 8:49 p.m., Highland Station deputies responded to a call regarding a kidnapping. The reporting party advised an 11-year-old female victim had been kidnapped, escaped the suspect, and returned home. Through investigation, deputies learned the male suspect, Guillermo, was driving an older white ambulance-style van and approached the victim while she was looking for her missing dog near San Francisco Street and 14th Street. He said the victim said he pretended to work for animal control and offered to help the victim find her dog. The victim got into the vehicle and then he drove away. While in the vehicle, he produced a handgun, drove the victim around the city, and molested her. Shortly after, he stopped the vehicle near Cunningham Street and 9th Street and let the victim out of the van. The victim ran home and the suspect fled the location. During the investigation, deputies conducted an area check and located a vehicle matching the suspect vehicle's description, parked near 18th Street and Guthrie Street. And they say on Wednesday, the next day, August 20, detectives served a search warrant at the residence in the 2000 block of East 18th Street, where he was located. They say Guillermo was arrested and booked into the West Valley Detention Center for PC 207A kidnapping and those PC 288 charges. Detectives believe other victims may exist, and photos of Guillermo and his vehicle are being released. Anyone who may have been victimized by him is asked to call the station and report it. So we have photos of this van. Let's see. These are awful photos. The PD. Oh, Muffin. Oh, buddy. What are you doing? You crazy animal. So you can see the images are awful. They're like, here's some images. They're not the right way around, but that doesn't matter. We're looking for a van that looks like this, and everyone's looking around for a van that apparently is like this way. It's on its nose of the vehicle. Guys, you could at least upload your photos correctly. Like, that's ridiculous. They're like, here's a photo of the vehicle. That none of these photos are the right way around. Good work, PD. Good work. Thank you for advising us about your wonky ambulance. Hey Joe, what's up? The detectives PD suck here. Well, they're not very good at uploading photos, apparently. Apparently, they're not able to do that. Here, let me get rid of this. I want to turn off my VPN. There we go. I just want to turn it off. VPN's off, but we got on the, yeah. Anyway, good work. I don't know why. Yeah, open image, another tab. Yeah, they've uploaded them the wrong way around. This is what they gave. They're like, we're looking for anyone who might have seen this vehicle. Guys, you can at least upload. We're looking for this vehicle. Like, people, you got to at least, if you got one job, you got to do it right. This is not it. Like, what are people supposed to be looking for? It's pretty slack. Pretty slack, you know. You got a child victim. You want people to look for this van, and apparently you can't upload the photos correctly. We're looking for a van that is often upside down. Here we are. If you see this upside down van or you've seen it before, please report it to us. Very interesting. I hope that in the future they will upload their photos correctly, which might assist in people calling in tips and information. This, you know what they say on the football show? This helps nobody. If you ever watch the football and they have that segment on ESPN and they're like, they show you football plays and they say, this helps nobody. This helps nobody. So this is not going to help anyone report anything about Guillermo. So, and the quality of the photos is just horrific. It's like, yes, our station is underfunded, and we took this photo with a camera that was donated to the station from 1973. It's just like a photo from the early 1990s. A football show? Yeah, I can't remember which one they do it on, but they have a segment that's called This Helps Nobody. Muff, you are ridiculous. You never want to sleep on Dad's lap ever, except for when I talk about true crime. Maybe you just like true crime. Is that what's going on? Are you secretly addicted to true crime? That you have to have the updates. Is that what's going on, Kat? All right. You hang out with Dad then. He's a weird cat. Let's see. You don't comment there, they're mean. Who is mean? I want to know who's mean. Huh. On Megan's channel? Yeah. I don't know if they're mean. I'd say they can be quite sarcastic in their replies to things. But that's just, that's just how some people are. Carolina said, it's like when my son used to only act up when I got on the phone. Apparently, this is what he does. He is addicted to true crime? Apparently. Hey, Muff. All right. Let's continue. Okay, that's your update about the guy in the ice cream van who likes to take children from the streets of LA, apparently, streets of California. That's the only update I have on that one. I want to show you an article that came out today in the mail, apparently, but it's an update for tomorrow. Loved ones of Aaron Patterson's victims are set to confront the evil mushroom lunch killer. They're descriptive words, a lot of descriptive words. Evil mushroom lunch killer. Could just call her a triple murderer, but sure. They're saying here during explosive hearing. How do you know it's explosive if the hearing hasn't happened yet? How would you know? What if it's a very chill day where everyone's very well behaved? How do you know it's going to be explosive? It's interesting. Apparently, the people who work for the Mail are fortune tellers. They're able to see into the future. And they're saying here basically that tomorrow is that plea hearing. Tomorrow there'll be a court day. And what else are they saying? On Monday, Aaron Patterson will be transported from the Dame Phyllis Frost Centre to face a pre-sentencing hearing in Melbourne Supreme Court. That's the type of voice you have to read Daily Mail Daily Mail articles in. You have to read it in that true crime voice. They say here, there she will be forced to hear about the devastation she inflicted on loved ones of her victims as they present their victim impact statements to the court. And they said, it's understood that Simon Patterson will not attend Monday's hearing in person. There you go. Basically, what they're saying is there's a hearing tomorrow. They don't expect Simon to be there in person, but it will be a very busy day and a very emotional day during the court, which I'm sure you could all understand. There's going to be many, many family members there who a lot of them will want to tell the court what Aaron's offending has meant to them. So there'll be a lot of stories, a lot of you guys have all seen victim impact statements before, what it meant to them, how their lives have been since the crime took place, what the trial has done to them, all this type of thing. So it'll be a very very emotional day in court tomorrow. I think that if Ian, this is Ian right here on the right, his one would be very, very. I think a lot of people would be looking forward to hearing what he has to say tomorrow if he gives a statement tomorrow. They say among those expected to confront uh, Aaron Patterson are Ian, Don, Ian, Ian, and Don and Gail's 4 children, and Heather and Ian's 4 children. They will be given the option to read out their statements or have them shared by a prosecutor. And they said one of the most anticipated statements is from Simon, who did not attend the trial in person except for the 3 days he testified as a witness. While in the witness box, Simon said it will take him years to properly grieve the legal process, which he believed largely ignored his own suffering inflicted by Patterson. Well, now you know. I think I went through it with you, but you guys know now about the charges being dropped earlier this year, and it's no surprise he feels like that. I mean, I don't see why you wouldn't feel like that, where he may feel ignored because the prosecution basically went, let's not worry about him. Let's just try and get the charges for the people at the lunch. And logically, that makes sense because those are the higher charges. They are three murder charges, 1 attempted murder charge. They would be the ones with the higher chance of success. So they had a choice to have a lot of legal ramifications to try and run the 2 trials together, or they could just go forward with the charges for the lunch and try and get a conviction on that. So they probably looked at it, spoke to their legal teams, and they probably thought that was the best way forward. But I would suggest that, yeah, it would be very easy to see why Simon feels possibly a little hard done by, and possibly that while he gets justice for his family, his justice is left wanting. Like, we don't know if we'll ever see those charges again for his attempted murder charges. I don't know. There's been no indication that I've seen, but yeah, very sad. Robbie, how are you? Are you still in hospital? Let me know. Let me know. Are you still in the rehab hospital? Let me know, my friend. Carolina said, didn't you say he had part of his colon removed? He did, and it says it here actually, right here. Here. In evidence kept secret from the jury, which I brought to you, Simon claimed Patterson had served him various poisoned meals, including penne bolognese, a chicken korma, and a vegetable curry wrap between November 2021 and September 2022. He was hospitalized several times during that period and at one point underwent life saving surgery in which a large portion of his bowel was removed. Yeah, so he went through something pretty traumatic. He went through something that was very, very traumatic. They say here in court, but without the jury present, Simon told Justice Beale that the trial was very difficult. He said, I'm sitting here half thinking about the things I'm not allowed to talk about, and I don't actually understand why. It seems bizarre to me, but it is what it is. I would say that he was told not to bring up any of the allegations against him and to focus solely on the charges, for his parents and his auntie and uncle, and just about those things. And if you get asked about your relationship with Erin, only have it apply to those charges, not what she did to you. So that would be very hard. I suspect that wouldn't have been an easy thing to do for anyone. So Marlene said, I think Simon just wants it to be over. Well, depending on how all of this goes, we could be still dealing with this particular case for another year or two. Depending if there's an appeal, we could still be talking about Erin Patterson for another 18 months. SP Mom said, with Laurie, Brandon got his day. It was good for him. And here this poor man is not even recognized. I know. That must be very hard. And he lost his parents and his auntie and uncle. So not only was he have had crimes perpetrated against him from his wife, but he also lost his parents in a really, really brutal, vindictive, heinous way. It's very, very awful. Like his existence would be very hard. I haven't got into rehab yet. I'm still in the Sunshine Coast University Hospital. Oh, my friend, I hope you're doing all right. Hope you're doing okay. It's good. It's good to hear from you. Joe Neal said, I was murdered once. Not cool. I bet you were. I bet you were. Joe says, Simon always reminded me of the SNL skit with Mike Myers with a heavy British accent. Hello, my name is Simon. I like to do drawings. Are you looking at my, yeah. Yeah, I know the one you're talking about. It's pretty funny. I don't know if Simon's a burly, pretty big guy, pretty tall. Talks in a pretty, blokey kind of voice. It's hard to explain, but I've heard him several times on in court. So SP Mom said, I can't imagine my heart breaks for him. I'm coming up on 20 years with my man, and I praise God every day for a good man. I don't know if anyone has prayed to God for someone to murder their parents with mushrooms, but I don't think Simon did that. Robbie T said they will probably take out the 50 staples down my spine first. Oh my God, 50? That is crazy. Mrs. Ping had staples. How many did you have? Like a handful? She had like 10 or 15 in her stomach. Robbie's got 50 on her back. I think she said she crushed her vertebrae. They had to put poles in. It's a brutal injury. Robbie, you have all our thoughts, my friend. I hope you're doing all right. Hey, Muff. Hey, Muff. He's literally got his head on my stomach going to sleep. Hey? Yeah, loves me at the wrong point in times, don't you, Cat? Hey? All right. Yeah, Robbie, I hope you're going to be okay, my friend. All right. What else am I going to talk to you? I don't know what else I'm going to talk to you. Let's talk about the 49ers for 1 second. The 49ers looked okay tonight. They beat the San Diego Chargers. Good work, Niners. And it looked like the special teams are the ones who did that. They took away the ball. They got the ball back on a return a couple of times. They did a good job. But it's worrying that Jake Moody keeps missing field goals. If you're a Niners fan, you will be watching the Jake Moody discourse over the last 12 months, and he is still missing field goals for the 49ers. So that's your update if you're into sport. Lynn Jed said, love the Niners. Yeah, me too. We'll see what they do this season in a couple of weeks. Couple of weeks' time, the season gets underway. All right. So that's it. That's your update about Aaron. I don't think we're going to hear too much more before tomorrow. But actually, this might be interesting. So they're talking here about Erin when she was in high school. She went to University High School in Melbourne's inner city in the mid 1980s. And they said a former student told the Herald Sun that members of a specialist unit mostly kept to themselves as they had a separate program to the rest of the school. The gifted students, nicknamed the Task Force, were known for being super bright but often odd. Patterson, in particular, was very reserved and considered a STEM girl for her passion for math and science. And this former student says, I remember most people from the year, but not her, which is quite strange because I knew a lot of the task force kids. This is a young Erin. Here we go, a young Erin. Yeah, this is a young Patterson. There you go. That is Erin when she was younger. I don't know what age that is, but she looks quite young there. There you go. That's what she looked like before you guys knew the woman today. Um, sure. I think she looks like a lot of teenage girls, but SP Mama said she looks so different, an 80s kid. Yeah, she does, definitely. But so she was in this gifted group, this task force, the nickname they gave for it, and got different schooling. It was like it was like for gifted students to try and ramp up their education to get them into universities and stuff later on, like quicker. And they said here they have to be quite gifted. There's lots of tests and stuff to get in. They're usually really interesting kids, obviously very smart, but they were also a little bit kooky. They always had some sort of interest that was a bit unusual. What, like poisonous mushrooms or poisons in general? I would say that is a little kooky for sure. What else they got here? Let's even go to the Herald Sun article. I'd rather read from the person who actually wrote it, not the Daily Mail. Uh, Insight Aaron Patterson's high school days. There you go. This is the photo that, you know, everyone saw after the trial. Oh, that's what she looks like now. This was the one that was broadcast to everyone as soon as we got a verdict. And let's go down. What else does it say here? Yeah, they got that high school photo of her. There's another high school photo of Erin. There you go. Courtesy of the Herald. Geez, they unearthed a lot of photos of her. So they blurred everyone else, but there's Erin in the circle right there. I reckon she looks very similar to the woman now, just younger in that photo. She looks very similar, but those younger photos do not. What else have we got? They said here many of Patterson's other classmates were shocked when they learnt the mass murderer had been in their year level. Another former student told the Herald Sun many of them did not remember Erin. Uh, Muffin, what are you doing? Yeah, so there you go. They did not. A lot of people did not remember her. They say University High School is known for nurturing artistic, academic, and political types. They said counting singer Olivia Newton-John and former Victorian Premier Joan Kirner among its alumni. They say Patterson's year level included University of Melbourne Vice Chancellor Emma Johnston and actress Maria Fraser, who played Cindy Watts on Neighbours from 2002 to 2005. So a lot of famous people were in this program. There's that other image of Erin in the police van that everyone saw. That's in her divvy van, transport van, that they would take her back to the jail on the Fridays. There we go. A former student told the Herald Sun that members of we read that. What else do they say? Other members of the year level, including film producer Damien Pradia, writer Chi Yu, a lot of people, a lot of artists and writers and film producers, they had no memory of Patterson either. Erin was accepted into the University of Melbourne to study science in 1992, but ended up pursuing a degree in business or accounting, according to Simon. Patterson, 50, will face a pre-sentencing hearing on Monday, where the court is expected to hear more about her early life. Justice Christopher Beale will then sentence the convicted murderer at a later date. The crimes that she is accused of and now found guilty of carry a maximum penalty of life in prison. So, yeah. Actually, the Herald did an article on the split trials. I want to have a look at that quickly. That would have been brutal. Let's see if they tell you about Yeah. So I told you guys that the Australian media was almost banned from reporting on the 10-week trial. I think I told you my story about that I was trying to get to the trial, and I was trying to get access to the media room, and they were telling me at the time, they're like, you shouldn't come, don't bother coming to Morwell. At the time, they were saying there's most likely going to be a media blackout, that you guys are not going to be able to report on anything. There's no point coming because you'll be able to watch the trial, but you won't be able to make any content out of it. And at the 11th hour, it all separated, and we learned that it would actually go ahead as one trial, but not two. And they say here, the attempt to gag Australian journalists came in April after Justice Christopher Beale ruled that Patterson would face not one, but two trials. At the time, they were not only the murder and attempts. Yeah, so at the time, they were going to split it. It would have been, like I said, the charges at the lunch for Don, Gale, Ian, and Heather, but all the charges for Simon would have been a separate trial altogether. And if they did go ahead with that plan, they were going to media blackout everyone because they didn't want to subjudice both trials. So if you reported on the one in April, there's a good chance the reporting from that one could affect the second trial for Simon. So the prosecution ended up deciding to drop the charges for Simon to allow that one trial to go ahead unhindered and not have a giant legal headache at the end of it. But interesting that the Herald did a article on it. Yeah, and they also went to Court of Appeal. So prosecution, I think I've already reported this to you. The prosecution tried to have it appealed. They wanted that decision by Justice Christopher Beale, about splitting the trial into two. The prosecution took that to appeal to try and get it put back as one trial, but they lost the appeal too. So that's what happened. The prosecution predictably drafted a suppression order seeking to prohibit reporting of the murder trial within Australia until the second trial was over. So that's what we would have had to have done if they got their way. We could go and take notes and things like that, but we would be blacked out from reporting anything about Aaron until the second trial for Simon was complete. And that's what I was being told before the trial. And I was like, oh my God, I've got rooms booked in Morwell. I'm heading up there. I've got all this invested in it. And they're like, nah, don't bother coming. There's going to be this giant blackout. And I was freaking out at the time because I was like, this has been like a 2-year thing to get this, to get to this point. And now all of a sudden we're going to be stopped in our tracks of producing any content or reporting on it because they're going to have this giant media blackout until the second trial is complete. But luckily, that's not what happened. We went to the trial. We got our content. We reported from the trial every day. It worked out fine. Yeah, it was to. They said, put simply, it hoped this would prevent the second jury from learning about the first trial. And they said, given Justice Beale said the case should be split in two. Yeah, they were trying to protect both trials from being influenced by each other. Yeah. So Justice Beale said here, Dr. Rogers raised the matter with Justice Beale on April 17 and asked him to make an interim suppression order until the media could marshal their resources. Basically, it would be so the media could be heard on the matter. And they said, but in a shock move, Justice Beale declared that gagging the media would be an exercise in fertility, because it would be. The court itself would still be open to the public, and the media would still attend. So even if they put this media blackout in at the time, I still would have gone because I had obligations to go. So I would have still been there. The public would probably still be in the gallery. Information would have leaked out. So if there was a finding, say this all happened under a media blackout and Erin was found guilty of the murders like she was already that we know of, that information would have seeped out into the public knowledge. So Justice Beale was right. They said here, Dr. Rogers said, who is the prosecution, I did not see that coming. And Justice Beale replied, I don't want to take you by surprise. I want to give you every opportunity to formulate your arguments. But if I were to make a suppression order, it wouldn't prevent the news of the outcome of the first trial spreading like wildfire. He added, I don't think it's in the interest of the administration of justice to make futile orders. So there you go. And they said here the media had been preparing for Justice Beale to automatically grant the suppression order, given a similar order was granted in 2018 to prevent the media from reporting on the first of two trials to be faced by Cardinal George Pell. And they said here ultimately Dr. Rogers withdrew the application for a suppression order before the charges relating to Simon were dropped. So there you go. It was a hell of a sort of up and down few weeks before we even got to Morwell, especially if you're on this side of the sort of reporting sphere. We were all being like, this is going to happen and this might happen and you can't do this. And then it was a real roller coaster for a little bit there. Kaliza said, do you have a theory about why Erin did this? Not really. I mean, I've seen a lot of people, talk a lot of theories online, and I don't really like any of them. I think it dates back much further to probably it's like all psychology, right? It dates back to formative years and how people develop, but I don't. A lot of people think it's because their parents were mean to her or something, but that's not. I don't think it's got anything to do with that. Uh, I don't know. The story that sort of we've got is that Erin was always a bit kooky and always a bit strange. Had problems with interpersonal skills throughout her life, including at jobs, school, other places. Was a bit of a loner, which is not a bad thing, but just that's the description. and like they used to call her, Scutter the Nutter. I don't know. I think sometimes, like, I take what Justice Beale said at the end, that sometimes the crimes and why people did it are only known to the actual murderer. And I think in this case, while we sort of get glimpses throughout the trial of, it could be this, it could be that, she had this going on in her life, these things could have been factors or triggers. It's very hard to know unless you actually get the information from Erin. Unless Erin comes out and tells you exactly why she did the crime, yeah, I don't know. It's very, very hard to put any one thing, because there's like 20 things that they told us during the trial that it could have been. It could have been this argument in December. It could have been because she believed that she was being pushed out of the family circle, which I think was true. Not pushed out, they were just being more guarded with Erin. But there were several things that could have been. I look. I was in Morwell for a period of time. I didn't have any problems in Morwell. I know some other reporters did have problems in Morwell. I didn't. I was fine. Um, I walked around at like 9 o'clock at night, bought dinner, went back to my room. No one harassed me. I don't know. I didn't have any problems. Don't know. Maybe I was lucky. Gayla said, I thought it was because she got away with it with Simon. She thought she could do the same to others, and Simon, but he didn't come. I don't know. Like, there's a few things. You look at the lunch. Maybe it was the rejection by Simon not to come that she changed her plan at the last minute and thought, oh, well, stuff him. I'm just going to, give him a taste of, poisoning his family. Like, that tells you part of it, but it doesn't tell you the driving reason of why someone would go out and kill 3 people and almost kill a 4th. And then if you believe that the allegations from earlier than that, almost kill her husband several times. So they tell you small bits of it, but not the whole thing. Kaliza said, I think that could be it. She did seem to try to get revenge on others when she felt like they let her down or betrayed her. Yeah. Carolina said, who's going to harass you at your size? I don't know. Probably no one. Marlene said, Erin reminds me of the movie Misery. A bit, yeah. Gail said, because she could. Yeah. There's just so many things that could, like, when people ask why she did it, it's a very sort of layered question because there's several factors that go into why someone did it. There's the psychology behind it. Then there's the reasons behind it. Those are could be two separate things, and trying to figure those out for Erin. I mean, there's some suggestion that there could be there's some suggestion that I read in the paper that she might have Munchausen, and I don't know how that would work with poisoning other people. Wouldn't that be? See, I don't know if that would be classified as Munchausen by proxy, because it's not like, say, some of the other cases of Munchausen by proxy we've seen. They're normally done to a child or someone that you have real super close contact with, not an acquaintance not an acquaintance, but a family member that you don't live with and don't see every day. They're normally done with like a closer family member than that, not like in how this has happened. Maybe with Simon, you could say it might be, but I struggle with that with the parents and the auntie and uncle. I don't think that would be in the same classification. Gayla said because she looked after Simon after. Yeah. Marlene said Erin most likely doesn't even know. Yeah, I just don't like some of the theories that it's all about this like depraved childhood and how her mum didn't love her or what. I don't think it's got anything to do with it. I think it sounds like something out of a true crime novel that someone wrote. I think the stuff with Erin is much more layered, and there's many small things that go into what happened, and it all happens through a large period of time. It's not like any one thing, right? When you look at Simon's illnesses, they date back like several years. So how can you say there's some sort of flashpoint trigger? There isn't, because this all happened over a large amount of time. So yeah, I don't think there's any one thing you can point to really. Lynn Jen said maybe she thought that with the loss of the family, she and Simon would bond over it. Maybe in a very twisted way. Factitious, that's what they call it now, right? Rachel said, I think it's complex mental health issues. Yeah, which it would have to come from someone who gets paid a lot more money than me. Like, I know a little bit, and a little bit is enough to be dangerous, especially in mental health. Like trying to diagnose things, it's very, very hard to do. Joe Neal said, Ping, was it proven that she had a reasonable belief that the meal would be immediately fatal? I don't think I saw anything like that. No, but yes. And that's the short version of that, and I can tell you the long version of that at a later time. That's all I can tell you. Let's see. Lynn Jen said, yeah, I don't know. There's other theories too. That one of the theories I heard, but I'm not a huge fan of it, is that Aaron and Simon's relationship breakdown was sort of instigated from Gail and Don, and Aaron felt resentful that they sort of liked the idea that they had become separated to give Simon room to think and X, Y, and Z, and that they were all okay with it. I don't know, that she wanted revenge on them for ruining her marriage, but it was her that wanted him out, so that doesn't make any sense to me either. So yeah, hard to know. Rachel said, I think she knew how deadly the mushrooms were. Well, I think anytime you pick up a death cap mushroom and you've researched what these are according to the evidence, and you go, I'm going to pick a handful of these, dry them, pulverize them, and put them into a meal, you must know that the chances of killing someone is pretty high. I mean, it's not like something you can go, I think they've got a 10% chance of dying from this. I think they'll be okay. Death cap mushrooms don't work that way. It's sort of like you eat them and most likely you'll die. Not like you will die, but most likely. Blaze said it was weird she had been talking about having her cancer and this dinner was supposed to be talking about how the children would be taken care of. No one said, oh, so sorry you have cancer. I don't think that's true. I think when you look at the evidence, especially from Gail was very interested in making sure Erin was okay. She often checked in with her. How's your appointments going? What's going on with that? I don't think someone who doesn't care about you would do that. And I don't know why it wasn't sort of more sympathetic. I know that's what Erin was looking for. She said that in her own evidence, that she was looking for sympathy. Um, but I don't know. Look, Ian's been through a lot, and I don't know how much of that actual lunch he remembers fully. I mean, you can imagine he was in a coma. He almost died. He had a liver transplant and was probably out of it for a number of days or weeks. So he may not even remember fully what the conversations were at the lunch. Khalisa said she seemed to have a very fragile ego, easily offended and hurt, and needed a lot of attention. She definitely seemed like someone who needed a lot of positive reinforcement about anything that she did, but also at the same time, if you got in her way of whatever she wanted to do, it's almost like she would just steamroll you. That's what I saw. SP Mom said, I want Dr. John to speak on this case. Hey, I reached out to Dr. John and Lauren 2 months ago. I had a couple other people that know them try and reach out and get us to talk and try and hook us up to do a show together, and they ignored me. So they don't want it. That's fine. I mean, that's their decision or whatever. But I don't think they're not interested in doing it with me anyway. They may do it at a later time when they're finished with whatever they're doing, but not with Ping. Joe Neal said, poisonous, yes, but deadly in what serving size? The equivalent of a death cap will kill an adult. There was evidence at the trial that a tourist picked a mushroom that was under an oak tree, ate the mushroom. I think it was one. Ate the mushroom and then presented to a hospital with organ failure a few days later. They survived, and that was one mushroom. So you put a whole heap into a meal. We've all seen the photos of what death cap mushrooms that Aaron picked. There was quite a lot of them. It's a lot of mushroom. Lisa said, get ChatGPT to help you write a crime novel, Ping. I don't think I'm going to write a book on Aaron. Marlene said, this was not her first cancer story. Maybe the family took it with a grain of salt. You could be right that maybe they sort of knew about her sort of hypochondriac sort of mindset around illness, because in the text messages that date back a few years, she's talking to Gail and you hear her complaining about back pain, and she's all like, oh, I've got all this back pain and I'm being a bad mom and the kids are on school holidays. So it seems like, at least to Gail and Don, she often complained of, different illnesses that she was going through. So maybe they were just used to her sort of complaining about it. Blaze said, oh, yes, I must have missed them being so nice to her. Plus, I didn't know about her husband's almost dying a few times. He literally was on death's door. The one quote I can remember from the notes was, in hospital, the doctors came to Erin and had to ask for her permission to operate on Simon, because if they didn't, he was going to die. The doctor also told Erin, even if you give us permission to operate, and we do operate and it's successful, he could still die. Like, it was that serious. Like, he was really, really ill, very ill. You found death caps while walking your dog? They're very, very, very common in Melbourne. Psychedelic ones too. I think it was in Canberra. That was in Canberra. Yeah, we have talked about it before. Gayla says, has Trish contacted them? I don't ask Trish to contact anyone on my behalf to do anything with the channel, ever. I don't do that. I might ask them for ideas and things like that, in, talking to other creators or whatever, but I don't ask for her to ever reach out to other creators on my behalf. It's a bad look. It's not a good way of doing business. It's not a good way to make friendships with people. I don't like it. So yeah. No, I have not. Well, Aaron was the medical decision maker for Simon at the time. Not later on. Simon removed that and put it as his dad and brother. But at the time, it was Aaron. Him being ill makes SP Mom said, him being ill makes me even more mad that they didn't pursue that part of the case. I can understand how he feels very hard done by it. It must be very aggravating to go through all the steps that you need to get through to go to trial. And there's a lot that the public doesn't see, like months and months, like a whole year worth of hearings and bits and pieces. To go through all that, almost get to the finish line right before trial, and then be told that your charges are going to be dropped. That must have been a very, very tough thing to swallow and have to accept and move on from. So I get it. Thanks, Marlene. I appreciate it. I feel like I my mind has forgotten thousands of other things about true crime because I only have so much room in my brain, and most of it's filled up with Aaron Patterson now. SP Mama said Himby. Yeah, it is very sad. All right, what time is it? It's like 4. All right, let's move on. I don't want to talk about Aaron all the time. I got a big day talking about Aaron tomorrow. We got hours and hours and hours tomorrow to do Aaron Patterson. But yeah, these photos are really cool, really interesting. That's very blurry. Wish they had a better photo of it. But there you go. Aaron Patterson, The Younger Years. Maybe that's what the sequel to the documentary will be called. They'll call it, like Dexter. It'll be called Aaron Patterson, Original Sin. Series 1. There you go. There's Aaron. Interesting photo. SPMR said there's so much of the case. There's so much of the case with Tylee and JJ. No one gets to see which shows the actual timeline of what happened. It's forgotten. It's lost. It's not known. I don't think the timeline of what happened to JJ is not JJ and Tylee is lost. I think the general overview of what happened to Tylee and JJ is fairly well known. I think if you're talking about like sort of what happened in between their deaths and the smaller details of like day to day, I think maybe that's right. Maybe some of those details are sort of been lost to the trial. But I think the general overview is known. It doesn't even look like her. Well, she was a very different person that you saw at trial when this crime happened. She's got to be what, I don't know, 15, 16, something like that in this photo. Something like that. She's a 50-year-old woman now. She's had children and babies, and she's gotten older. So very, very big time frame between the two Aarons that you guys know. I'm sure there's other photos in her 20s that may look similar to this. Kat, what are you doing? Come on. What are you doing? Yeah. Yeah. So there's a big time frame between the two. Danny. She is somewhat bigger. I mean, I don't like commenting on women's bodies. I think that's a surefire way to have the neo-feminist union of the world come after you and annoy the shit out of you. So I will just say, as a fact, she is obviously a different size to this photo. But other than that, I don't have a comment. SP Mom said yes, between Yellowstone and the Daybell house, unknown. Even Megan and Kresha have called it out. Well, if Megan and Kresha don't know, then I would suspect that no one else does either, because Megan and Kresha would be the ones that, like, they would know everything. So I would listen to them. They would know more. If they're saying there's a problem there, then there has to be a problem, because they're the ones closest to the case. Like they have family members that were involved. They are family members. Like, yeah, I would listen to those two. Marlene said, play the tape with Aaron out by the car and not crying. You guys love that freaking video. You guys love that video of Aaron out. It's so funny. You guys love that video from news.com or whatever. Hold on, Aaron Patterson. Let me see if I can find it. It might be lost now. It might be hard to find now because the police interview has been. Oh no, here it is. I found it. I was like, we won't be able to find it because of the police interview. Fine. You guys want to watch the weird video with Aaron? By the way, credit goes to the Australian and news.com.au. Here you go.
It's a tragedy what's happened.
Can you tell us about the meal that you cooked?
I'm so devastated by what's happened, by the loss of Don. Don is still in hospital. The loss of Ian and Heather and Gail, who were some of the best people that I've ever met. Gail was like,
take your time.
Gail was the mum that I didn't have because my mum passed away 4 years ago. And Gail's never been anything but good and kind to me. And Ian and Heather were some of the best people I've ever met. They never did anything wrong to me, and I'm so devastated about what's happened.
Can you tell us
And
a
the
bit?
loss to the community and to the families and to my own children who've lost their grandmother.
Can you tell us a bit more about the lunch?
What I can tell you is that I just can't fathom what has happened. I just can't fathom what has happened.
Overlay this video with the people in California that did the interview for the missing child. Look at the body language between this one and the California one with that woman telling that, oh, my child, and stuff. It's so similar, and the body language is so comparable. It's interesting because it's almost like something that humans pick up because we have to read people in daily life, right? I think everyone that watched this video of Erin picked up that there was something not quite right. Same as the one in California where people watched that interview and people were like, there's something off here. Same here. And yeah, still no tears. My favorite bit is where she touches her eye constantly and then looks at her hand as if there's going to be like a tiny little mushroom here. I don't know. There's going to be, she's like, oh, look at all the tears on my face. And there's nothing on her hand. It's almost like a magic trick, sleight of eye. It's very.
That Ian and Heather have lost their lives, and Gail has lost her life, and Donna's still in hospital. And I pray that he pulls through because my children love him.
And you must be pretty shaken up by this as well.
I'm devastated. I love them. And I can't believe that this has happened, and I'm so sorry that they have lost their lives.
How are you
I
kids?
just can't believe it. Just can't believe it.
Can you tell us where the mushrooms came from?
She sounds like a chicken. You ever heard a chicken that's like roosting and it's like bark, 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 bark. Like, what is that? That's not crying. What is that? That's some sort of weird kind of noise. It's not. It's like it's just odd. And she says here, I loved them. And what do you mean that? What do you mean I loved them as in past tense? Two of them at this point were still alive. What do you mean I loved them? So that odd that she would use a past tense to describe people who are fighting for life in hospital. Very strange. Yeah, it's a very, very funny video. Yeah, she walked away when the questioning got tough and they asked her where the mushrooms came from. She just like walked away. There's another one where she yells at the media, but I haven't been able to track it down. It's another good one where she snaps at the media for being on her property. But yeah, her touching her eyes all the time. And this, what is she looking up at here? She looks up at like, are you looking up at them in heaven? Is that what you're doing? Are they above you? Are you having an out-of-body experience looking at them above you? Like, I don't understand. What is going on? Why are you looking up? Who's up there? Is there an elf? Is there an elf up there? I'm confused.
Shaken up by this. Were they tips from the property area?
I just asked him to leave me alone now,
Sure.
please.
Police say you're a suspect. Do you have anything to say about
Yes,
that?
I say I.
By the way, I saw this guy at trial. I love how she's like, I'd like you to just leave me alone. And he's like, the police say you're a suspect. It was a perfect response to being told to get off the property. It was like, hey, hold on, hold on. You're the suspect according to police. Why are we getting off your property if you're the one who might have hurt people? That was brilliant.
Didn't do anything. I love them. And I'm devastated that they're gone. And I hope with every fibre of my being that Don pulls through. That's
Where
what I
did the
have to
mushrooms
say.
come from? Were they picked by you, or where did they come from, Mary? Can you tell us? What meal did you cook them? Did you eat the same meal, Mary?
Brilliant, brilliant. One of the greatest videos. For me, this is what did it. I can tell you now, like I think you guys knew anyway, but during the trial, I couldn't say it. It was this video that really cemented in me that we had something here, and I didn't know it was going to turn into a 2-year journey to go to the trial, but I knew that there was something wrong. After this, it was really obvious that there was bad things going on. The timeline for this was amazing too. At the time, I think I brought you the story, and it was just a paragraph in a paper, and it said like 4 people had been admitted to hospital for potential death cap poisoning after a dinner or a lunch at someone's home. And then within that period of reading that story, and like a week later, it went from that to Homicide Squad doing a press conference to all of Victoria and the media talking about how they're involved and investigating this incident at Erin Patterson's home. It just went from 0 to 100 really quick. And I think that's when we all started with this story about Erin Patterson and her, well, now convicted of 3 counts of murder. So, and one of attempted murder. Gail said, I remember us all practically shouting at this video. She's not crying. She did it. Yeah, this video is just well done. Well done. Brilliant from news.com. Brilliant work. And the Australian. Brilliant work.
Heather was some of the best people I've ever met. They never did anything wrong to me. I'm so devastated about what's happened.
Can you tell us
And
a
the
bit?
loss to the community and to the families and to my own children who've lost their grandmother.
Can you tell us a bit more about the lunch?
What I can tell you is that I just can't fathom what has happened. I just can't fathom what has happened. That Ian and Heather have lost their lives, and Gail has lost her life, and Donna's still in hospital. And I pray that he pulls through, because my children love him.
And you must be pretty shaken up by this as well.
I'm devastated. I love them. And I can't believe that this is.
The body language is just so strange. It's like a robot. It's like a robot that's trying to tell the media what they think they want to hear. Like, I loved them. I loved them. It's like a tape recorder playing over and over again. I loved them. I loved them. I'm devastated. So devastated that apparently during that police interview that I brought to you, by the way, it was exclusive on this channel. All right, it wasn't, but we all put it up on the internet at the same time. It shows you, like, she was told in that interview that 2 people had died, and she was like, who has that response to 2 people that you supposedly love so dearly? And you're just like in the interview when you're told they have passed away, they are dead. You're just like, what response is that? And they're like, we've been keeping information from you. We have not been telling you what's been going on at the hospital. And those 2 people have now died. And her response was just to shake her head and mutter under her breath about something and just be like, oh, as if someone told her, that tree down the road that everyone loves, the council have cut it down. And she's like, not 2 people that are apparently part of your close family circle have been killed after eating something that you made. Like, the responses are disproportional to each other, like, they don't make any sense. Very, very strange, but yeah. Hey, Joe, we still have 2 topics in the hopper, Texas floods and meteorology and trial attendance. You went to the LVD victim impact statements, and it was evocative. Let's collab after your Viz day. Yeah, sure. Let's do that. Yeah, that would be a good insight. Because tomorrow, yeah, I expect tomorrow is going to be a really, really hard emotional day. You know, you don't know these people. I don't know them either, but I've been so close to the trial and been through so much time with it, and listened to all these people, the sons and the daughters in the courtroom, give their evidence and things like that. It's very hard not to feel emotional because you're so close to the case, right? Um, yeah, I think tomorrow's going to be a very hard day to listen to all these people and what Aaron's actions have done to them when, you know, those people still had good years of life ahead of them. Sure, they were older people, but they still had, you know, who knows how many. Some people lived to 100. They could have had another, you know, almost 20 years on this earth, maybe a bit longer than that. That's a long time. It's like 1/5 of people's lives. They had plenty of time left on this earth, and it wasn't for Aaron to decide, you know, as executioner when they should leave this earth. And hearing those people tomorrow, yeah, will be very hard. It will be very difficult. I am expecting it to be a very emotional day. Blaze said, I have a question about her real estate. It was said she gave her husband one and something else she rented a few homes. How can the court legally take a home that she built? Here they can't. So in Australia, we have a legislation called the Proceeds of Crime Act, and under that act, they can confiscate certain items that people own. It can be cars, money, anything of value, really, homes, property, all these type of things. And they made an application to the court that there may be some restitution that needs to be paid to the victims. So they've captured that home, the home that she's standing in this video. They've captured that home and put a freeze on it. So the government doesn't own that home right now. It's almost like a freeze. It can't be sold. It can't be given away. I don't think it can't be traded. It can't be anything. They will have, yeah. There could be further applications in the future, depending on what claims, what money is owed, this type of thing. So it's just a first step in that confiscation order. So later on, they could actually confiscate the entire thing and sell it. But right now, it's sort of like frozen. Nothing can be done with it. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. But yeah, it's one of the laws down here. Joe said, I cried multiple times during the victim impact statements for Lori. JJ's letter was almost unbearable. I'm so grateful that the victim survivors get their day in court and to address the defendant. I'm not expecting any children to be there tomorrow. I wouldn't think so anyway. The way it works in Australia, they don't normally do it like that. We'll see. They may just submit a letter to the court or something like that and have it read out from an advocate or the prosecutor or something. I mean, but I'm expecting there not to be a letter from the children tomorrow. I think the ones that everyone will look for are Simon, Ian, and the children of the Patterson and Wilkinson family. So they each have 4 children. So Don and Gail had 4 children. One of them is Simon. He has 3 siblings. The other one, the Wilkinson family, they also have 4 children. Those 8 people, I suspect, will give readings tomorrow to the court. But I just don't think the children will. I think I just don't think they will. Or if they do, it'll be a letter that's handed up and maybe read. I don't know. But I'm not expecting anything from them. But yeah, Ian, Simon's will be the 2 big ones. And then the ones from the Patterson and Wilkinson children. They will be the ones that everyone will want to talk about tomorrow. Joe said, in Australia, with the victims get to address the defendant directly, it wasn't allowed in Arizona, but Kay Woodcock pushed that boundary to its limit. So I still believe that Erin will be in the defendant box thing. I don't know how it'll work, whether they can actually turn and face her, or they just have to read it to the court. I'm not sure whether they're allowed to. I'll tell you tomorrow. I'm not 100% sure, but I'll check for you. But she'll be there. Erin will be in the courtroom. So I'm guessing she'll have to be there tomorrow. And she'll hear every word that is spoken by these people. So she will have to sit there and listen to it all. And they will confront her with what they feel and what her offending has done. So she can't run away. She's in a, she's confined in a courtroom with people everywhere. There's security, there's police. She ain't going anywhere, and she's going to have to listen to all of it. Marlene said, Erin and Simon's kid will see this online the rest of their lives, not to mention 60 Minutes and other shows. They will, but I feel lucky in the fact that, unlike some other cases, their names are not splashed everywhere all online, and they have a chance to walk away and sort of hide as much as they want to for the next however many years and live their own life without intrusion from people. So I'm glad that has happened. I hope so anyway. By the way, my phone just buzzed. Who's buzzing me? Oh, Carla, thank you very much. I appreciate it, my friend. It's very kind of you. It's very kind of you to send in a Ko-Fi. Very sweet of you. I appreciate it. Hey, Wendy, how are you? It will be interesting to hear the letters. Yeah. So they have a choice, I think. I think they can either read it out personally to the court, or it can be read by the prosecution. So we'll see what happens tomorrow with that. Woman of Steel said, hello, everyone. The children's letters, Simon and Erin's, would be so heartbreaking, but maybe cathartic for the older child. I don't know about the younger one. It would have wrecked me at that age. Yeah, I can't imagine we're going to hear from them. I think if we do, it would be a surprise. I think for the most part, they have been kept out of this process as much as possible. So I don't know. It's a hard case for them. It really is. They got dad, who might be a victim, or, allegedly is a victim, and he's a victim in another way because his parents were killed and his auntie and uncle were killed. So he's been victimized twice. And then Erin's his wife too, so like a third time. So then they've got their mum, who's accused of these crimes and has been convicted in a court of law. Emotionally, psychology, it's very difficult for them. So they are not, it's hard for them. Hey, Lisa, thank you very much, my friends. Very kind of you. Thank you for the super sticker. I appreciate it. Very, 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 very generous of you. Very generous. Blaze said, okay, I see here they come up with the claim amount, but unless you are a drug dealer, they can't take your house and car. When I drove Corvettes and Jaguars and other cars, police would stop me to look for I get what you mean, look for illegal things. Yeah. Woman of Steel said they would probably prefer to be left out of it all. I think so. I think they would prefer to be as far away from this process as possible. Mimi said, yes, I bawled and I got worse when she said, I trusted you. There's a lot of trust in this one too. I think anytime you open up your home and try and feed people, like you invite someone over for dinner, that's the ultimate level of trust, right? Besides a sexual relationship of some sort. But that's a pretty high level of trust to go into someone's home and eat the food that they have prepared. And in this case, it is an ultimate betrayal of trust that Erin has taken. I mean, we don't question that when you go into someone's home and eat a meal they have prepared. You don't go, I think someone has put arsenic in this meal, because we trust people. And that trust has been shattered you know, with Erin and what she has done. So, yeah, thank you. It's very kind, very kind. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. It's been a long process. It really has. I when I've not been here, I've been working on that anthology video, and it, I was like, this will take me like 4 days, and I've been working on it every night for about 2 weeks, and it's still not finished. Is there's so many cuts and edits and inserting evidence into it, and photos and videos, and it's going to be a hell of a video when it is complete. It'll be the one video you are ever going to need to watch about Erin Patterson. If you ever wanted to know anything and you want to see it all in one video, it'll be in that video. So, yeah, some people haven't hit the like button. I would appreciate it. Mimi said, yeah, the people you trust and they do evil to you is just sickening. Yeah, so big day tomorrow in the courtroom. Big day tomorrow in the courtroom. So that means there will be no afternoon show from me tomorrow. I will be in the courtroom all day. So that means if you want to hear what happened in the Patterson trial, well, this Patterson hearing tomorrow, you're going to have to tune in if you're American, probably in the morning when you wake up in the morning, because it's going to be on at about, if you add, or if you remember when we're at trial, what time I used to come on to do the podcast, that's what time I'll be on tomorrow and Tuesday for the victim impact statement days. And then I think on Tuesday we're having I think Tuesday's more like legal stuff. So I think Monday's more the victim impact stuff, and maybe Tuesday's something else. So Texas says to offer a meal where everyone was fine, and then the second was a horrid outcome. That must have run through the family members' thoughts. Yeah, they went to that first meal, and nothing happened. They had a shepherd's pie, and they were fine. It was a very deceiving trick from Erin to sort of set them up with that false sense of security by inviting them over like a month earlier for another meal, and then invite them over again and put those death cap mushrooms into the meal. It was very, very conniving. Gail said it's 4:30 in Melbourne right now. That's right. 7:30 in Edinburgh. And what time is it where you're at? I don't know. It's 4:30 where I'm at. SP Mama said 4 a.m. Yep, it'll be 4 a.m. So if you're in America, you can watch in the morning when you wake up in the morning. Carolina said, even if you couldn't have reported a word until the end, it would have been worth it because no one else has the trial story straight. I appreciate it. I think I did my best. Being that this was the first trial that I did, you know, from start to finish, and we're still not done yet. It was a lot of learning on the fly. So it's 15, 14, 42. It's 4:31 right now. 12:20 p.m. in the mountain times. If you're in the mountain times, it is now Sunday morning at 12:20 apparently. All right. I'm going to get out of here. I've got a lot of prepping to do for tomorrow. I've got a lot of prepping tomorrow, unfortunately. I got to get a lot done and get to bed early tonight because I got to be up at I don't know, about 5, 6 a.m. tomorrow to get ready for. I got a long train journey tomorrow, so got to get up and get out of the home very early. So I'll leave you guys tonight. I'm sorry it was a bit of an up and down show, but that wasn't what I had planned to do. I had planned to do a different show, but that's okay. We got stuck talking about tomorrow. But hey, I love you all. You need a time. If you're on the East Coast, it will be like 4 a.m. No. If you're on the East Coast, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 7 a.m. on the East Coast, I think. If you're on the East Coast of America, it'll be like 7 a.m. in the morning, something like that. 6 a.m. I'll post the times on Twitter if I can figure them out. But if you just add 4 hours to right now, 4 hours. So it's about 8:30 in the evening Australian time. I will. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. SP Mom said, love the show. See you later. Bed now. Good night. Have a good night. By the way, some people wondered why there's been no ads on the video the last week or two. I can add ads when we do Aaron Patterson content because it's my original content. So I can add advertising and it's fine. When we do those shows where we check out all these different videos and stories about true crime, I can't add advertising to it because it instantly gets turned off. Like as soon as I apply for it, they just shut it off because we're using videos from NBC and CBS and KCAL. We're not able to do it. So that's your explanation for the people who wanted to know why. So Lisa said, don't you have a car? Yeah, but I'm not driving out to where we're going tomorrow. Not a chance. Joe, I'm not allowed to tell you where we're going tomorrow, unfortunately. I can tell you tomorrow after. I think I can tell you on Tuesday after it's finished, but I can't tell you where we're going tomorrow. Joe said, okay, everyone set your notifications, like, share, and subscribe. And if you haven't been to Joe's channel, I can't remember. I always call it Joe Schmo, but it's not. It's JS Media, isn't it? JS Media. YouTube. I should have it in my, yeah, here we go. No, that's not him. This. My links are not coming up. Did you know, Joe, did you know there's an Italian dude or something that has a thing with, he makes music. Is this Italy or? Here, I'll show you. There's a guy that is also called JS Media. There you go. There's a guy. Hold on. I don't know if I have it in my list, which is annoying. But if you just click on Joe's name, go to his channel, and watch his content on Texas. I think it's very interesting. I think it would be very good. Why is that not? Yeah. All right. I don't have a link. Sorry, Joe. I'll look it up and I'll add it to the description for you. It's 88 at the end. That's why. You got to put a you can do like a personalized link for your channel. You got to do like a better one for like your for JS Media. Yeah, I've got it. Here we go. Sorry, I was searching the wrong thing. There we go. It's on my list on YouTube because I'm subscribed, but when I was trying to search it through the bar in the StreamYard, it wouldn't come up. There you go. You can subscribe to his channel. Check out, we did a collab about a month ago. You guys can check that out. It's not true crime based. It's more about the Texas floods, but we'll do something again soon. Gail said, I took the bus and train when I was in Victoria. Yeah, I'll be on the train tomorrow. I'll be on the train. Warner Steele said, I'm going to rewind, miss most of the show. See you all soon. Have a good day or night or morning. I will. Yeah, I think you could. So when you go into the settings on YouTube, there's a thing where it says like you can make the link. Like that's why mine says no. Oh my God. Stupid mother effing thing. Hold on, guys. You guys don't want to see my stupid face that close. Yeah, you can set it to whatever you want. Like 'cause when you do it YouTube originally, it gives you some random name. Yeah, so you can make something like more unique for your channel. I wonder if is JS Media taken? I wonder. I don't want to give people ideas, but yeah, you can head to Joe's channel and subscribe to him on this link that I had up before. There you go, and see him. All right. You like my face? I don't. I like to stay in the background. When I started true crime, I was like, do I have to do this camera thing? can't I just sit back here and have no camera for my entire YouTube thing? Apparently that wasn't an option, so I had to get a camera. So, all right. I love you all. I'll be back tomorrow with Aaron Patterson information. Who knows what's going to happen tomorrow during a freaking during a victim impact day? We could hear all sorts of things. So you're going to hear a lot of heartbreaking information, I think, unfortunately. Very emotional day tomorrow. So get your emotions ready. Know that it's going to be very sad. And I'll see you when I get out of court. For the first time in like about 7 weeks, we're going to go back to the courthouse. So good night, everyone. I got a lot to do. I'll see you tomorrow about 8:30 p.m. Australian time, and I'll run you through the entire day of court. All right, I will. Good night, everyone. Bye.